Welcome back, Dynasty Fantasy Football fans, and today we have another listener-submitted trade and roster review. As a quick reminder, I'm doing free trade reviews and roster reviews for all my followers, so go ahead and hop over to my profile, drop me a follow, and I'd be happy to do one for you. But now back to this one. First, we got to talk about the format really quickly. It is a Dynasty League. It's a full-point PPR. There is no tight end premium. There's a start 9 with a kicker slot still. I won't go too much into this right now, but you should get rid of that immediately. I don't know if it's under your control or your commissioners, but vote to get rid of that immediately. No kickers and defenses in Dynasty. It kind of ruins the format. But aside from that, no super flex, so quarterbacks aren't going to matter a lot here. Diving into this roster here, you can see he's very strong across the board. For a Dynasty, you've got a young, great quarterback asset in J.J. McCarthy, who I think is going to do quite well this year in the Minnesota offense. Christian McCaffrey, who at any given time can be RB1 or 2 on the season as long as he stays healthy. David Montgomery, who I also love. CeeDee Lamb, says enough. Tyreek Hill has to have a bounce back year this year. I love that. Mark Andrews, great tight end. Rashee Rice, probably one of the best buy low candidates of the offseason. If you've been watching my channel, you know I love him. Khalil Shakir, I'm fine moving off from a guy like this, but I understand he provides a decent floor, so he's a fine guy to have. And then Justin Tucker. Here's a quick look at his bench. He doesn't have a lot going on for the skill players here. I do like Jordan Mason here. He's a good handcuff and backup running back to have. However, the real place my eyes go to here is how many quarterbacks he has for a non-superflex league. In my opinion, completely unnecessary. So what I really would want to do here, if you're going to make any trades, is try to go to a quarterback needy team and give them any quarterback or 2 quarterbacks at the same time to just try to get another skill position player. Like a better running back, a better wide receiver, give me some depth pieces. I'd be flipping these quarterbacks for any skill players I could get right now, but we'll go into that in a second when we talk about trades. Last thing to highlight here, he does have the 101 in this year's draft, so that's going to be Ashton Genty. You can basically plug him into this lineup. No more picks for the rest of this year. Doesn't matter. No first next year. I'm really not tripping on that. You've got a great roster. And you still have a second and third next year, which I'm fine sending those in a package for a trade later as well, just because this team doesn't really need picks. You got a great young core. Now, first, let's dive into a couple trade offers that he has been sent and evaluate them, see what I would do with them. This one is interesting because on paper, this does equal this. I see the logic here. And if you watch my profile, I am actually really high on a guy like Travis Etienne. I think he's undervalued right now. And I'm really high on Xavier Legette. I really love Xavier Legette as well. With all that being said, though, this is such a shallow league, and because of the shallowness of it, only the top 25 players at their position really matter, in my opinion. So I would not do this deal. I'd way rather have Christian McCaffrey, just because if he stays healthy, you have the chance he's going to be RB1 or RB2 on the season. And that alone is enough for me. Obviously, the Khalil Shakir piece, fine. He's also nice to keep. But Christian McCaffrey alone, I'm not doing this deal. This is a lot of small pieces that just aren't going to matter as much in this format where, sure, having a bit more depth is nice, but I'm not doing this deal. Let's move to the next one. This one I do find significantly more interesting because from a risk management perspective, I think you are doing a good job by mitigating risk moving off McCaffrey for a package like this. The 108, you probably will still have some decent options to draft a running back there. The 203, I think this is a strong deep draft class for running backs, so you'll have another shot to re-roll there. And the 301 is a nice throw-in piece. However, I will say, because of how shallow the format is, I still think if you're going to try to contend this year, you do have a better chance of just keeping Christian McCaffrey. So although this one is extremely tantalizing and I wouldn't judge you for taking it at all, I am still sticking with McCaffrey here. Finally, this is the one that I would probably take. So if you were going to move off McCaffrey, I would be okay doing it for Breece Hall in the 301 just because you do get significantly younger. I still think Breece Hall has a lot of value in case you want to flip him. And knowing that you have the 101, your running back room could be Breece Hall and Ashton Genty, which basically sets you up for the foreseeable future. However, before you smash accept on a trade like this, what I would do is I would counter, if he has the 301, does he also have the 201? See if you can have him add the 201 to get to Christian McCaffrey and throw him back a 3rd round pick in return. That one from 2026, whichever one you want. That's what I would do before I would hit accept, just to see if I can milk him for a little bit more. Finally, here's a couple of my trade ideas just to help get you started. First off, like I said, those QBs, a bunch of extra QBs, they need to go. Get them out for your roster. There's no reason to hold that much depth. So can I flip them for any sort of depth on skill position at all? I'm happy doing that because that's really where you need further depth on your roster. You need more wide receivers and more running backs to be able to stack up. So can I flip any of the quarterbacks I have for a guy in this range, like Jordan Addison, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Devonta Smith? Any of those guys, if you got to add your 26th second or third to any quarterback you have to get one of those wide receivers to add to your roster, totally fine doing that. Now, same thing for the running backs here. I love buying Chuba Hubbard. I think Chuba Hubbard is one of the best value buys in Dynasty Fantasy Football. So if I can go get Chuba Hubbard for one of those quarterbacks, absolutely. Josh Jacobs and James Cook might be a little bit harder to get. They probably are held in a little bit higher value, but go ahead and swing for him. Another guy, Alvin Kamara, I love. Buy low on him. People are worried about his age. The Saints don't have that great of an offense, whatever. No, my man always puts up top 10 numbers, and he's still got years left on his contract. Go for him. Same thing with Travis Etienne. I really like Travis Etienne. I think he's super undervalued. I saw that you had a previous offer for Travis Etienne, but again, if you can flip a quarterback for Travis Etienne, a Justin Fields type or something like that, get Travis Etienne and a second-round pick thrown back or a third-round pick thrown back, absolutely. Do a deal like that. And then finally, early seconds. Can I flip any of those quarterbacks for any early seconds, late first? I don't know if you get lucky because, again, like I said, this is a really strong running back class. Even though there won't be as many quarterbacks taken in your leagues, it's not a super flex, and you'll probably have less options in the early second, I still anticipate guys like Cam Scatabo or something to be there. And again, although that's not maybe the most tantalizing thing, still better running back depth than you currently have. I'd like to take a swing on something like that. So those are my options for you to start. I know this is definitely long-winded, so if you made it far in this video, please drop me a like, drop me a follow. We appreciate you watching. Go check me out on YouTube and shoot me your messages. I'm happy to do roster reviews, trade reviews, and any breakdowns you guys might need. Good luck. Let's win some championships.